Well, GCW had their latest event, Slime Season. We're also going to talk and review NXT Takeover WarGames. So hope you guys are ready to get your popcorn ready. So let's get started with another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, many promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. Now, let's talk about GCW's latest event, Slam Season. So for those who don't know what is GCW stands for, it stands for Game Changer Wrestling. This is the promotion where I've seen Jungle Boy, I've seen Joey Janela, many others who've been in there. Now, their latest season took place this past Saturday on December 5th in Las Vegas, Nevada. But on a personal note, my dearest friend, who's a local referee here in San Diego, California, actually was one of the 3 referees involved in that one. And I was very happy and proud of him that he's involved. So it was a good show. So let's go from start to finish, how this started. They had 2 interesting video packages. One was from former WWE superstar Leo Rush. Apparently, he is doing this kind of transformation where he becomes like a black heart type of person, like kind of like a monster type. But it was a pretty good video, and he even brought his wife and kids involved, like they were in the whole thing with him. I thought it was pretty amazing. But the second video package came from villain faction known as 44O, which is Ohio faction, who have been able to dominate much of GCW, playing a little poker game. But of course, the champion, Ricky Shane Page, RSP, cheated his way through, and all of that. So they even made a message to GCW that they beat every hero they got that GCW had, like Nick Cage, Homicide, anybody. And now he had RSP has been set to face a guy named Juicy. So we'll get to that. That's like semi-main event. So the first match of the night was Jordan Oliver versus the finesse Chris Bey. Yes, the finesse Chris Bey from Impact also was in there. It was a pretty good, interesting match to see both. As you know, Jordan Oliver is with MLW and Chris Bey with Impact. It's pretty good to see 2 different people from different promotions getting involved. Just on a side note, Chris Bey will be at the Super J Cup this coming Saturday on the 12th of December. So stay tuned for that. But it was a good match. I liked it. But who actually won this one is Chris Bey, being the finesse that he is. Next match, we have a member of the Samoan dynasty, Sefa Fatu versus Facade, the Neon Ninja. Now, this is Sefa Fatu's very first debut being in GCW. There's been a lot of great wrestlers that debuted in GCW, and Sefa became one of them. It was a good match. I mean, you have a powerhouse guy like Sefa facing a guy who is very good in jumping off the ring and all that. But however, you cannot deny the power and strength of the Samoan dynasty himself, Sefa Fatu. Now, next match we have Matthew Justice versus the MLW World Champion, but he's not in this one. We're talking about Jacob Fatu, Sefa's brother. So this was also, it had some hardcore implication or death matches type. Basically, in this one, they were just knocking each other with whatever they can find. The end, their match, all of that. But however, you cannot deny either Jacob Fatu's power for what he does. So he will end up winning this match completely. Now, the next match is a very traditional thing they do every GCW event I've seen so far. They have a 6-way scramble match. So basically, you got 6 people involved. So, the first person they had is Jimmy Lloyd, Matt Vandegrift, Damian Drake, Eli Everfly, QTB, and Nate White. Now, you get confused and lost who in the hell is going to win this match. You got 6 competitors and 1 ref. It's a very confusing thing to watch. But I'll give you the result. The winner is KTB. So he won the scramble match. Because, I don't know, you may never know who's going to win this type of match. Now, the next match is more of a death match type. We got the Southern Psycho, Mance Warner versus 44-0 member, Atticus Cogar, who he has been stepping up as a hardcore or death match type of person. He also is one of RSP's lackeys to ensure RSP wins. But however, it was a very hard match, being a death match with throwing many weapons. But however, who was going to win this one? And I kind of voted for this guy, Mance Warner, because he is the Southern Psycho. Nobody likes Cogar. You know why? Because they try to, Ohio guys act like they think they're tough. And if you hear this, people are saying, F Ohio. That makes it kind of like fun to watch. But yeah, so Mance Warner won this match. The next match, we have an intergender match. We have Japanese comedy wrestler Kika Taru versus Alley Cat. There was a lot of great parts of this match during of course he was trying to see if he can get Alley Cat to get him a green card or marry him because they're in Vegas. I mean, here's the thing. You know when you're in Vegas, you elope there. He was trying to do the same thing with Alley Cat, but she wasn't having it. So, who won this match? I'll give you the result is none other than Alley Cat herself. So, sorry, Kikutaro. You're not going to be able to stay in the U.S. Now, the next match, we have Juicy Finau versus Ricky Shane Page of the 44-0, and, of course, who's the current GCW World Champion. Basically, this was a non-title match, but however, RSP has been trying to prove that everybody who has been facing him or anybody who challenged him are no match for him because RSP has won in 2 ways, either his way or having his lackeys being by his side. And this time, he didn't have that. He even tried to put Juicy away on many occasions, but however, he underestimated Juicy's abilities. So, even though in this match, I will result that he actually won this match, Juicy was a formidable opponent. I don't think RSP as expected that it was going to go longer, but it did. So, I would like to see Juicy go up against RSP for the title, but of course, he has to be more careful with the other idiots, 44-0. Now it's main event time. We have Blake Christian, a guy who I've been following early this year, facing off against Lio Rush. It was a very, very amazing match. I was so impressed with everything that happened, whatever moves both men were doing on certain spots. I loved it. I just couldn't stop enough because the thing is, I wasn't sure how this was going to end. What's the outcome? There's a moment where we see Blake has the pin, but Leo kicked out. Or Leo has the pin and Blake actually kicked out. So it wasn't a beautiful match. I loved it. But however, it ended with the shocking win. It goes to Blake Christian. And I don't think Lio Rush expected it. But I think he was happy that he lost in that way. I think he will get his revenge against Blake Christian down the line in the future. But we'll just got to wait and see. So there's more GCWs to come in the near future, so I will keep up to that. So let's go with NXT Takeover WarGames. All right, let's start with WarGames. I love WarGames. It's one of my favorite NXT Takeover events to watch every year. As you know, last year was the best because they introduced a women's WarGames. That was unbelievable. This year we did have a women's WarGames, and I was very excited. So let's start with the first match, which was the women's WarGame, Team Lorray versus Team Blackheart. The first person to start the first two people to start this match was Dakota Kai and of course Ember Moon. So it started out with them. Now, however, Team Blackheart had the briefcase for the advantage match, which is the one where they have the odd number. Basically, if Team Blackheart had an extra person against someone from Team Lorray, that's how it is. The person who stepped up to who was it? To jump in, it's Shotzi Blackheart. She was the one took the advantage, and after her, we had the powerhouse Raquel Gonzalez, and then the other, her longtime nemesis, Rhea Ripley, stepping up, and then we had Toni Storm. Then we were supposed to have Io Shirai get in, but however, much of this time, Raquel Gonzalez was ensuring that Io Shirai does not get in to give the proper advantage. Now, when Candice LeRae was going in, she managed to get in, but Indy Hartwell made sure Io Shirai step up. She took the keys away from the ref and put in his shirt. Now, they were able to take the advantage, but out of nowhere, here comes Io Shirai jumping off with a trash can on top. It was an unbelievable match. Now, they might have thought they got away with it, but however, the outcome was we get to see Raquel Gonzalez made the pinfall with her team, which is Raquel Gonzalez, pin Io Shirai. Now, however, there is a certain thing that has been talked about. Since she made the pinfall to Io Shirai, does that mean she will get a shot of the NXT Women's title? That is something that could be discussed. But however, if it does happen, there's going to be a lot of complications. As you know, every woman wants to have that title. That includes Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai. They've been feeling they should have been champion. But however, what does this mean for Raquel? Let's say she does beat Io Shirai. What done with? But that's another discussion to talk about at another time when that day comes. The next match is more of a grudge match between Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. Now, this has come across on a couple weeks now where Tommaso Ciampa decided to pick a fight with Timothy Thatcher. However, Thatcher does not have a problem with Ciampa. He does not want to start a beef with them. He doesn't want nothing to do with them. But however, it was Ciampa for weeks has been trying to pick a fight with him on many occasions. But of course, because of that, Thatcher had no other choice but be in the match against Ciampa. It was a very physical, brutal match. Now, you could assume a guy like Thatcher can easily put a guy like Ciampa away because of him being a submission specialist. But you cannot deny the way how Ciampa actually adapted, even with injuries he obtained over the years. But he was able to hurt the arm of Thatcher and allowing himself to win the match with that one move called the Broken Lights or whatever they call it. But do I think this is far from over with Thatcher and Ciampa? I have that feeling it may not be over due to Thatcher will not accept the results in this way. That's how I would see it when it comes in. Now let's jump into the strap match. This is a rivalry between both Dexter Lumis and Cameron Grimes that took place for weeks all before we get to Halloween Havoc. And because of that, Lumis has been trying to get him to be in a match with him where he doesn't run, where he doesn't hide. He's been taunting him. Now, Grimes has been spending weeks trying to avoid him in any way possible. So he tried every way to ensure that he wins and go straight to the moon. That's what he's been doing. But however, you cannot deny the determination of Dexter Lumis picking up a victory where he outsmarted him by using the strap in many ways possible. He did not just use it as a weapon to whack him. He used it as a tactical way to tie him up from the feet so he won't escape. And this allowed him to put him in that submission move that put him to sleep. So Dexter Lumis won this match. Next match, it's for the North American Championship between Damian Priest, Johnny Gargano, and champion Leon Ruff. Now, we all know the story, what happened. Johnny Gargano beat Damian Priest at Halloween Havoc with some ghost face showing up helping him. And then later he put out an open challenge. Leon Ruff won, and even Johnny Gargano has been telling him he's a joke, that he shouldn't be champion whatsoever. Damian Priest, who felt that he was robbed because of this ghost face, he was trying to protect Leon Ruff in every way possible, so maybe one day he'll get the title, but it became a three-way match. Now, the match was great. There was a moment where you see Leon Ruff was hurt. Damian Priest didn't want this. He was trying to tell him to walk away from it, but Leon Ruff, with such pride, wanted to show, I'm not a joke. But however, because of this was happening, we saw multiple ghost faces everywhere coming left and right. First 3 show up and another 3. Damian Priest took all 6 of these ghost faces out. However, another ghost face show up, whack him with the pipe, while Gargano was able to make the pinfall against Ruff. And then we find out who was really behind the ghost face. Now, there was a lot of theories and talk about who this ghost face could have been. And one of them was, in fact, was right on the spot from this certain group. And there was none other than Austin Theory. Yes. So Austin Theory now embraces the Gargano way, which is something Johnny has been looking forward for months, ever since he started his feud with Ciampa months ago. So now he's a 3-time North American champion. Now it's main event time. We have the Undisputed Era versus Pat McAfee and his team. First, Kyle O'Reilly starts out the match alongside with Pete Dunne. Now keep in mind, it's Pat McAfee's team that actually has the briefcase that they had the advantage. So since it started with Kyle O'Reilly and Pete Dunne, then Bobby Fish comes in and decides to take. Bobby, hold on, I think I got it wrong. But they've been coming, and I'll just skip to the end. It was a great moment. Each person were bringing in certain toys. Now, let's get to Pat McAfee when he gets in. When he gets in, he brought in tables that have the Undisputed Era logo, and each of them has a name. Fish, Riley, Strong, and Cole, saying that, oh, these guys are dead. We are the best team. But it was there were some great moments in this match. As you can see, Dunn, Lorcan, and Birch were trying to protect Pat McAfee. But it was going back and forth at every level. There was a moment where Pat McAfee jumped off the steel cage onto them. And then there was another moment where he got pushed to a table that it was not even his name on it. But the best part how this match ended was Kyle O'Reilly jumping off the springboard, the ring ropes, and stomping Orny Lorcan with the table attached to his face, the chair attached to his face, allowing himself to win the match. So Undisputed Era won this year's WarGames, even though they were coming in on very interesting odds. They were trying to prove themselves. The system is not broken, as Pat McAfee has been saying for months, or should I say for weeks. But now Undisputed are back better than ever. We just got to wait and see what's going to happen on this coming Wednesday. Hopefully this whole rivalry ends or whatever it goes. But we'll just wait and see at this Wednesday's show comes up. So I think that's pretty much it for all you guys. Stay tuned for more other stuff that we're gonna throw in. Hopefully, I throw in the Ring of Honor and the Tuesday Wrestling, the Wednesday Night War, and don't forget this weekend, Friday and Saturday, we have the New Japan for the finals for Best of the Super Juniors and World Tag League at the same night. But the following day, we're gonna have New Japan Strong for the Super J Cup that will be there most of the day. So, I hope you guys keep up to everything. So, I must bid all of you guys adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.